I wrestled all 4 years of high school, and I would not trade those 4 years for anything. But upon starting wrestling, I never realized how brutal, draining, and difficult of a sport it could be. A lot of hard work and perseverance goes into wrestling, and in order to be successful in the sport, one has to be as physically fit as possible, practice the technique over and over thousands of times, and have an incredible mental strength to never give up, even when you are exhausted. As, a, as great of a sport as wrestling is, there is also a dark side to it as well. This is a picture of me from my senior year of high school. In this picture, I weighed about 125 pounds, which was 15 pounds less than my natural weight. I looked starved and exhausted. My friends and I refer to this picture from time to time as the crackhead Steven picture because I look like I'm on some kind of drug. I was miserable, starved, probably malnourished, and absolutely exhausted. All my friends used to ask, Steve, why did you purposely drop these 15 pounds? And my answer was, because that's what I was told to do. I was a team captain at the time, and I found it necessary as captain to step up and fill the role at the 126-pound weight class to benefit the team. In wrestling, many coaches and wrestlers believe that the lower weight class is the easier the wrestling, which is pretty much a lie. Only to a certain extent it's actually true. Actually, to be honest, it's not really true at all. There had always been major issues with cutting weight unhealthily in wrestling. However, this issue climaxed in 1999. That year, two collegiate wrestlers in Virginia were found dead after they spent hours in a 110-degree room to make weight for a match. They didn't drink any water for hours, and they sat in the sauna-like room so they could sweat out any extra water weight in order to make weight for their meet. After the death of these two wrestlers, the wrestling and athletic community decided to take action. Finally, in 2005, a body fat and hydration test was passed, which required wrestlers to have above a 7% body fat and pass a hydration test in order to be eligible to wrestle. Cutting weight improperly can cause drastic problems for wrestlers. Muscle tissue built up by wrestlers in the off-season is often squandered and wasted away due to dehydration and malnutrition associated with some rapid weight loss practices. These rapid weight loss practices can also lead to stunted growth, and in some serious cases, such as the one in 1999, it can even lead to death. Meals are skipped, water is not drunk, and the wrestler cutting weight is exhausted, irritable, and weak. I've seen some terrible things in my days of wrestling. I've seen teammates practice in sweats and trash bags for up to 2 hours nonstop and collapse in exhaustion at the end of practice. I've seen wrestlers cut large amounts of weight, sometimes 10 to 15 pounds a week, weigh in at the meet, and then pass out, sometimes on the mat during the match or after the match due to exhaustion and dehydration. The most ridiculous one of all is probably seeing some of my teammates and people on other teams spit into water bottles before weigh-in so they can lose a meager 1 pound of water weight. Cutting weight can be disgusting, and although it's not as major of an issue as it was 10 years ago, something needs to be done to stop rapid weight cutting practices in wrestling. Coaches make attempts to show their wrestlers the correct methods for losing weight, but in reality, hardly any coaches actually know healthy and proper methods for cutting weight. I remember in class, teachers used to constantly worry about me and tell me I looked like I was dying and offered me food and drinks. Classmates thought I was sick, and I basically looked like a zombie, all because nobody actually taught me the correct way to cut weight. Cutting weight in an unhealthy manner can ruin a wrestler's life. The wrestling and athletic communities really need to band together and find a more definite solution to the rapid weight loss cutting problem. Schools with wrestling programs need to hire nutritionists in order to suggest healthy and reasonable methods for cutting weight. Wrestlers need to be taught how to correctly and safely drop weight, and if this problem is not corrected soon, it will only continue or even become worse.